Good morning, all my friends out there. So today, we got a snowstorm going on. So I was trying to think of something I could make with, I am not leaving the house to get anything. Do simple, easy things you have at home. You probably have at home too. So I'm gonna make something that some people call it a pourable pizza, some people call it a crazy pizza, some people call it a crazy pourable pizza. I call it a simple and easy pizza. So let's get started. This is going to be really easy. So we're going to start with a mixing bowl. This is 1 cup of just all-purpose flour. Two-thirds of a cup of milk. Two eggs. Then we're going to put about a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to also add about a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. And I think they're all pretty much standard as to what's in them. And this is just, right now we're making the pourable crust. This is going to flavor up the crust nice. All right. So now we're going to mix this up, and it's going to be a kind of almost, I believe like a pancake batter consistency. So we're pretty much, you probably can see the Christmas tree behind me, and we're just about ready. We're coming up on about a week away from Christmas. And so I'm just about ready. I hope everybody out there is enjoying the holiday season, and whether it's Hanukkah, whether it's Festiva or Christmas or whatever your holiday is, I just hope you're enjoying it. And so let's see if we can just get this all, as you can see, it's getting really nice. And it's almost the consistency of kind of a little bit thicker than a pancake batter that I usually make. This is going to make a kind of a thin crust pizza. So if you like a really thick crust pizza, this one isn't going to be for you. Just want to make sure we get all those lumps out. And you probably don't want to use like a hand mixer or anything on this, because you don't want to whip a lot of air into it. Alrighty, so I think that's all set. So next, some people like to do theirs in a cast iron pan. And I don't use cast iron that often. Once in a while I'll use it on a grill or something, but I'm not as big on the cast iron thing. I know some people that love it, just love it and rave about it. One of my sons uses cast iron all the time. But I'm more of a traditional, more kind of a Pyrex and glass. And the reason I like this is because when it's cooking, you can actually see. So you can see the bottom, you can see if it's toasting up the way you like it, browning up, or, God forbid, burning. But with the cast iron, of course, you can't see that. And so, I don't know, I kind of like to be able to take a peek at what I'm doing. Anyway, you can butter your pan if you want. You know me, though. I like to use my spray. So I'm going to give this a quick spray. Make sure you get it into the corners, because you don't want this to stick. Let's just give it a nice good coating. There's something about these sprays, though. They need to figure out how they can contain it a little better, because you really have to be careful when you're spraying them, because it will overspray onto your floor, and your floor can get quite slippery. So just a little note to those companies that make those sprays, or people using them. Like I said, the overspray is very common, and it will get on your floors and they will get slippery. So let's move on. So we're going to go ahead and pour this right in. Move these things out of the way so you can get a good view. And we're going to go ahead and pour this right into the pan. It looks like we got all the lumps out, perfect. And I just used a spatula to cook this, to mix this. And so we should be able to scrape it all out. You wanna kind of pour it evenly. We wanna get this just to evenly coat the bottom of the pan. It smells good already. So I'm preheating my oven to 425. And there we go. So now I'm gonna do what I typically do to try to make sure everything's coated around, because I can see it's not completely covered everywhere. So I'm just gonna rock my pan a little bit. And there you go, quick and easy. So now it's an even layer. So the best way to do this one is you want to put your meat on next. So whether you're going to use bacon, ham, hamburger, sausage, but you want to make sure that it's pre-cooked. You don't want to use any raw meat in this. I'm going to use pepperoni. I think that pepperoni is kind of almost always a staple on a pizza. You know, some people like chicken. I know that's one of my daughter Megan, her favorites. She likes some of those different chicken pizzas that they make now. And some of them are quite yummy. But I really like pepperoni, so I'm gonna make sure I get a good layering on here. So actually when this is done, I think we'll probably cut this into squares because it's a rectangle pan. And if you're using a nice round cast iron pan, you'd probably have more of a traditional pizza and cut it into wedges. But I'm gonna be doing, I think, cutting into squares after. So I'm getting a nice amount of pepperoni in here because I really like it. And when you actually put the pepperoni on now, or whatever meat you choose, actually it's going to be nice because it's going to even flavor the crust even more. And you can add more pepperoni on after, but now is your best time if you're going to put any meat on it. So there you have it. So I've preheated the oven to 425. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven and get it going. It's probably going to take about 10 minutes on the first phase. Then we're going to pull it out and add on the rest of our toppings. So I'm going to put this in the oven and we'll get ready, get moving on our toppings of our choice. It's been about 10 minutes and this pan is super hot. But look at this crust. It is just really looking terrific. And that's what I was saying about the glass. See, you can see it. I'm not going to touch the pan because it's really hot. But we're going to move on to the next stage of this, which is we're going to put on the sauce next. You can use whatever tomato sauce you like. I'm using just, you know, a regular pizza sauce. You can use and this one's got like, you know, some kind of Italian seasoning and so forth. So I only like light sauce on my pizza. So I'm just going to put just kind of a light coating on next. If you like heavy sauce, make it your own. Put it on heavy. And so this pizza, as you noticed, has no yeast. There is, you know, a recipe out there you can do, I believe, with, you know, a yeast, quick, easy pizza like this too. But I always find if you don't have to deal with yeast and you can do it quick and easy, we'll do it. But a lot of the yeast now, you know, you don't have to proof, and it's not like days of old where the old-fashioned yeast. So I'm just trying to get it up somewhat. We don't want the corners and so forth to dry out too much, but you don't want it to spill over too much either. So there we go. I think we're doing good. So I like a really super cheesy pizza. I don't know about you guys, but like I said, you can make this your own, and I'm certainly gonna do that. So I had a really nice fresh mozzarella, so I shredded it up, and it's about a pound. And I just said how much I love cheese, so as you'll see, this is gonna really get cheesed up well. I bet you I'm gonna use up a lot of this on here. But if you're lactose intolerant or you don't like cheese, you know, don't use it. There we go. This is going to be so delicious. So I think I'm using about 3/4 of a pound of cheese on here. Okay. Never be skimpy on the cheese. Next, I'm going to put some Parmesan cheese. And I'm just using your generic, this is Kraft. You can use whatever you want. I find some of those no-name brand and store brand taste too much like sawdust for me. And Kraft's never let me down. So I kind of stick with what works for me. So I never buy the other ones. I always do have this one. But if you find one that you think is really good, put it in the comments. Let me know, and I'd love to try it. So I'm going to just give this a good little shaker around, just to, you know, spark it up so it's not just mozzarella. You can put whatever cheese you like on it that you typically like on your pizza. And then I really like mushrooms. So I've sliced up some baby portobello mushrooms. So I'm going to spread those out. You got to be careful with some of these because, you know, you don't want to add too much liquid. And as you may or may not know, mushrooms can hold a lot of water. So you don't want to go too crazy no matter how much you love mushrooms. And I do like mushrooms. So let me just spread these out. So I'm going to put a good amount, but not too much. And next I'm going to add on here onions. So I like on this type of pizza just white onion because they're not too powerful usually. But I always do mine when I'm doing it on a pizza in rings. And let me tell you why. Some people don't like onions on their pizza. And if you put them on chopped, it's really hard to pick them off. So being friendly like I am, if I put on just a little bit of onion the way I like it, and someone doesn't like onion on their pizza, then it's much easier for them to pick off what they don't want when it's in rings, not all chopped up. I always try to think of that other guy too, especially, you know, Santa could be watching. We're getting really close to Christmas. Okay, so we got some onion, and we've got mushrooms, and we've got sauce, and we've got cheeses. And you know what? I'm going to add a little extra pepperoni because I really do like pepperoni, and I think this pizza is going to be really fab with extra pepperoni. So I'm just going to add a little bit of extra pepperoni onto the top. If you like pepperoni like I do, kind of never enough pepperoni. So that, like we said, on that first go around, it was about 10 minutes in the oven. Then you pop it out, you dress it up with whatever you want to do with it. And then we're going to put it back in the oven for about another 10 minutes to let the rest of these veggies and so forth cook up. And it'll be done. Then I bet you I can get Megan to come out here and try it because it's really smelling super. And I bet you it's going to drive her crazy, the smell of this pizza. So I'm going to get this back in the oven, and I'll see you in about 10 minutes. And hopefully Megan will join me, and we'll get her opinion. Alrighty then, my friends. This is out of the oven, and smelling great. So let me give you a peek so you can see what I mean about that glass. See, it looks like it's perfectly toasted. This is hotter than all get out. Did you ever burn your mouth on that first bite of pizza? So I think what I'll do is I'm gonna cut it. Now I'm not sure if I'm gonna use a knife or a pizza wheel. But like I said, I think I'm gonna cut this in squares. That way I can put some on a plate so it can be cooling down a little bit and invite Megan in and see what she thinks. So just be careful because it might still be a little warm. But they call this crazy pourable pizza.
Thanks for no utensils.
Well, let me get you some because I'm usually the only one that eats pizza with a fork and knife. But I'll get you some.
Very cheesy.
Well, yeah, I think I might have put too much cheese, but I like cheese.
It slides off if you have to pick it up.
Let me get you some silverware.
No.
I'm not disappointed. I mean, if you only like a thick crust pizza, you won't like this. Definitely thin. But it's easy to make. Fast. Pretty much every household has pretty much what's in it. I mean, not necessarily pepperoni on hand and all, but yeah. I think that mozzarella might have had a higher water content to it. And then the mushrooms too. So you gotta be careful when you make this about what you put on it with the water. But it's good, right? So guys, it really was pretty simple and easy to make, as you saw. Pretty delicious. I think it's good. It's a lot cheaper than ordering out, that's for sure. And on a farm day, a snow day, it'd be hard to get someone probably to deliver today anyway. It's a big snowstorm going on. So thanks you guys so much for watching. And that's right. And I recommend you try making this at home. It really is easy. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.